Greetings, greetings, greetings. Should I send this out? Well, welcome. Let me just get started. This is our Shift Talk summer series here on Instagram Live. We are normally on YouTube. So I want to talk today about the love, sex, and money shifts that are available to us in this season. It's absolutely no accident that all of the podcasts, well, many of the podcasts, all of the controversy around Keke Palmer, all of the relationship advice is happening right now. It's absolutely no accident that this is happening right now. Why? I'm so glad you asked. So, in Rebirth Woman, Tribe of the Free, every week I go into more detail about the cosmos and how it influences our consciousness. It doesn't matter about your beliefs and your belief system. It still is happening. It doesn't need your belief. I encourage you to join us on Facebook for that. Hey, sister, you got to get in touch with me, Michelle. We have a lot to talk about. So I would encourage you to join there, because then I go into more detail about how this affects your personality, how it affects your relationships with others, and your birth chart. Hey, Sister Dana, my love. So thank you all for joining. Share this out with some of your friends, some of our sisters in the inbox, if you will. If you don't mind, share this. I'm going to back up from the screen just a little bit. The Facebook name is Rebirth Woman, Tribe of the Free on Facebook. And on my YouTube, you can go to Latanya Taylor. Rebirth with Latanya, or just put in Latanya Taylor. So anywho, I'm rushing out and I want to get in here and honor my word. So why are we seeing this happening around our love, our sex, and our money? Why is this happening? Well, there's a lot going on, right? You know, I've been talking to you about Pluto being in retrograde, but Venus is in retrograde. Venus is the planet that governs our love, sex, and money. She's all about the things that we teach right here in the Rebirth community, in the Juicy community. She is really governing so much of my work, my devotion to the divine feminine, my devotion to the mother. And so I also subtitled this Messages from the Mother, because Venus represents all of that. We also happen to be in Cancer season. Shout out to the Cancers in the chat. Who are the Cancers in the chat? Happy birthday, Dana. This is Cancerian season as well, which also represents the mother. So you have Venus that represents more of an Oshun energy, an Aphrodite energy. She's the loving mother. She's the seductress. She is comfortable with her sensuality, her sexuality. She's the goddess of the fertility and all things that are love, romance, how you want to be loved, how you love, right? This is that Venus energy that is in retrograde. What does retrograde mean? Everybody talks about a retrograde when Mercury is going backwards and how it affects our communication. However, what happens when we go in, when other planets have retrogrades? Now, some people say, well, I don't understand all of this cosmic talk. I don't understand this energy talk. What I'm talking about is you. I'm talking about your mind, your body, and your spirit. Your mind, your body, and your spirit. We are energetic beings. We are connected. All planets represent organs in our body. So whether you believe it or not, it is happening on the planet right now. So when Venus is in retrograde, it's no wonder that we have people who are talking about the woman. Womanhood right now seems like it is under attack. Would you agree? that it seems like womanhood is under attack. You have women who are displeased with how other women are showing up. I'm one of them. I'm concerned. We have younger women who don't want to hear from maybe an older generation of women, yet they need some guidance, or they were lacking some guidance at some part of their life. And it's showing up in how we are on display in our behavior on other platforms. It is almost debaucherous, some of the things that we are seeing in terms of the descent. See, we love to talk about the slavery experience, but we love to talk about the goddess and the divine feminine. But a lot of times we don't talk about the descent of the divine feminine, because she went through a descent. And when I say she, I'm talking about in our cultural consciousness. I'm talking about in our elevated way of being. I'm talking about our superpowers. She went through a descent. And how does that descent show up? The descent shows up in our relationship with the divine masculine and the divine feminine in us, in our relationships. So guess what? She is showing out right now. So this attack on Keke Palmer, all of the things that are being said about her and how what's appropriate for a mother. Honey, she monetized that thing because that's what Venus would do. She is not going to defend her feminine liberation, her right to express her sensuality how she wants to. She doesn't have to defend it. When it comes to motherhood and all of these things, we should on women. This is happening by design and intentionally. Why? Because Venus also represents your values. It represents how you love, how you make money, what is your relationship with money? What is your relationship with love? How have you been loved? How do you ask for what your needs are to be met in love? How are you loving? Are you walking in love, or are you walking in fear? See, everybody wants to also put the idea of the feminine as something that's soft. We're talking about the soft life. And there are many faces of the feminine. She is fierce. She is warrior. She is mother. She is protectress. She's crone. She's maiden. She's many archetypes and different forms. Learn more about that. Also, we teach that in this space. Some of you say, how can I work with you? What are you doing? Well, guess what? All of the stuff is either free in my app, or you can get into these juicy programs that I have for you when I announce them. Make sure you're on my list. Check the link in the bio. So I digress. So what do we do with this season, with this time? What do we do with this opportunity? Because some people said that this week is going to be a volatile week emotionally. Why? Because retrogrades really represent the work that you haven't done and need to do, or an opportunity for you to reset. Now, what do I mean by that? A retrograde is something that it takes you back. That means old loves will show up. Your relationship with love, exes, heartbreak, all of these types of things will start to happen. And you like, oh my God, I don't understand how this happened. It's by design. Are y'all with me? So this week doesn't have to be volatile if you have done your work. It becomes volatile. It becomes emotional when your emotional intelligence has not been a priority, when you have not had done the work around self-mastery. So let's talk about self-mastery and spiritual mastery. See, because when we talk about the divine feminine and the divine masculine, there is the energy of beingness and the energy of doingness. One of the reasons we are so far away from our soft life and our femininity is because we as women have also lost the ability to trust beingness over doingness. And so now we have women who have prioritized the bag. Are we prioritizing the bag because of fullness, or are we prioritizing the bag because of lack consciousness? Because it will show up again in your love, sex, and money. Are we prioritizing pleasure from a true liberated place, or a rebellious, a low vibrational place? Because when you start to commercialize and monetize the goddess, the mother, what is the mother calling us to do? See, the feminine operates in her spiritual mastery, right? Okay. And so if that is not a priority for women, then oftentimes it is going to show up to remediate. What is remediation? Because I get charged with being a little bit too mercurial and using words that sometimes go above someone's head. But we are attracting those who are using more than their head. I'm talking to your heart. You don't have to know all the words. So what is remediation? Remediation, when you're in school, puts you into into the same grade, or slows you down, right? Just like a retrograde. And some of us have remedial relationships with love because we're too busy doing and we have not had an opportunity to be. Now, that's not your fault, millennials. That's not your fault, Gen Zers, because some of us have been too busy doing. Our parents may have been in survival mode doing. Our parents may have been trying to make sure they had food on the table, doing. Whatever they were doing, sometimes they did not teach you how to be. And so our life ends up being the remediation of the lives of our parents, right? We become the remediated version. Oh my God. I'm talking about retrograde. It shows up in our spiritual, emotional, and financial psychology. Did you hear what I'm saying? It shows up in our emotional, our spiritual, and our financial psychology. So that's why we are having mental health crises happening all over the place. And that's why everybody's talking about, I'm back outside, because guess what? Many people are trying to return to the doingness that they had in place before the pandemic, right? And the pandemic came and disrupted. It's a disruption. Now, if you did not learn from the slowdown, from the be still, if you did not educate yourself in your consciousness about what was really going on with our financial systems, and you are rushing to get back on automatic doingness and have missed the opportunity of beingness, then this is why we keep on having an experience of breakdown and crisis. It's going to show up in our relationships. So any lesson that we have not learned, we will repeat. And if you didn't learn it when somebody in your life was an authority, and because this is a season of inner authority. This is a season. This is why people don't want to play church. This is why people not looking to be just taught how to be preached to and told what to do. This is a season for you to find the God within. So I want to give you 4 things. You want 4 things from your sister? To let me know if you want 4 things from your sister. Talk to me now. I want you to put a number 4 in the chat and invite somebody. You want 4 things from your sister that this season invites us to look at for our love, sex, and money? Just, you can put 4, you can just say 4 things. 4 things. 4 things. Huh? Come on now. Come on. Put it in the chat. I'm waiting on you because this is participatory. I need to vibe off of your energy. All right. We hadn't been in shift talk for a long time. Y'all with me? Y'all with me? Talk to me. I'm inviting some people. I'm just because. All right. We got some 4s in the chat. All right. So this is from the esteemed Reverend Michael Beckwith, and I wanna make it juicy for us a little bit. I want to rebirth it a little bit in this season, this Venus retrograde, this Pluto retrograde, this new moon energy that's coming up, because you can get ready. You really don't have to get ready if you stay ready. That's the whole point of this talk today. You do not have to get ready if you stay ready. What do I mean by that? Well, Michael Beckwith put it in 4 stages of awakening. The planet is awakening. Consciousness is awakening on the planet, whether they like it or not. No matter how many distractions come, how many plots and plans come against our life and against our life force, how much attack there is on womanhood and being a woman. Y'all know that they are asking you to call your portal an additional opening in order to accommodate those who identify as trans. We are in trouble if we are not careful, because the mother is not to be played with in the cosmic. So anyway, let's talk about this awakening. 4 stages from our Reverend brother, and I'm going to rebirth it and make it juicy for us in this moment. The first stage is to me. Life is happening to me. This is where victim consciousness lives. And to be honest, about 80% of the planet lives in life is happening to me. And this is why we are always reacting and responding, jumping on bandwagons, following trends, being influenced and scammed. Because life is happening to me. That's why I don't jump on bandwagons. That's why I've been different for a long time. And if you are different, if you are a misfit, a weirdo, if you are creative, an empath, a healer, if you are a priest, if you are being called a witch, but you really are anointed, it's your season. It's your season to come out of hiding. Why? Because your family needs you to move out of the season of to me. The first phase is to me. Life is happening to me. Somebody's put that in the chat. Scribe for me. The first number 1 is to me. This is the victim stage of consciousness. Again, about 80% of the population operates here. That 80% lives in your family. That 80% lives in your bloodline. That 80% are the people that you work with. That 80% are the people that you went to school with. That 80% are the people who are just trying to get by. Are you in the 80%? Come on now. To me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. The second stage is by me. Oh, this is when you start to do a little study. See, because the first stage of awakening is awareness. It's when you become aware that there is more than being on automatic. There is more to beyond going to church, what I've been taught, the religion that I inherited from my parents. There is more. There's more to me. That is when you move into by me. By me. By me is the stage of the manifester. Oh, when everybody, not everybody, but a lot of coaches and a lot of people are out here using by me language, manifester language. But, and a lot of people like to be real sexy to attract you with manifestation energy. Come on, let's manifest a mate. Come on, because this is Venus energy. Let's manifest a husband. Let's manifest 6-figure days. Let's manifest this. Let's manifest that. Let's buy me. And there are many people who just learned to buy me so that they can sell you something. Am I stepping on toes? Many people just learned to buy me so that they can get something from life. That's manipulation. And when you start to do spiritual manipulation, then that is when it starts to show up in your life as divine correction. Don't play with God. Ain't that what Shirley Caesar said? Don't play with this thing. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. The next stage is through me. Through me. Somebody get that in your consciousness. Through me. Now, through me is a graduation from by me, because you're not just trying to manifest things at this stage. Come on, somebody. Somebody say, come on, give me a high five. You're not just trying to manifest things. You're not trying to just control things. You're not just trying to be defined by things. You're not just trying to be expanded by things. And materialism. Through me. I'm trying to settle myself down. Let me settle down the fire. Woo, woo, woo. Through me. Through me. Somebody just get that in your spirit. Through me. See, the next stage of awakening is the one that is really, really a fine line between running from the responsibility. See, when you start to understand that things are happening to you, you start to be responsible. Responsible for what you say. Responsible for what you sing. Responsible for how you dance, how you move. You are responsible for your relationships with love, sex, and money. See, I am responsible is not the place that a lot of people want to run to when it comes to religion. When you are dogmatic and you've been taught to follow the rules and be the good girl. When you are dogmatic and you need to get permission to be yourself. When you are afraid of your power, you get afraid of through me. In fact, that's what you say is, who me? Who me? Who me? Who, me? I'm the one. I'm the one in the family that needs to learn about family banking. I'm the one in the family that has to study. I'm the one in the family that needs to show up differently. I'm the one in the family that gets to break the curse of divorce and molestation and child abuse, mental abuse, spiritual abuse. I'm the one that gets to be the one. Yeah. That's through me. A lot of people run from this stage because that is the stage of co-creator. Co-creator. Come on now, work with me. Through me. Number 3 of the stage of awakening is co-creator. You with me? The stage of co-creator is when you are in partnership with God. Come on now. Oh my God. And this doesn't mean that you have to be pious and poised and pretentious and pretending. This is where you show up as your authentic self. This is when your head hits the floor in prostration to say, here I am, use me. I'm available to you. Oh, come on now. That's too grandma-ish for you. That's too grandma-ish. But through me is where the realm of ancestral consciousness lives. Come on now. Is that too much, too deep for you? Talk back to me. Talk back to me. Through me is a critical phase and a fine line because it's easy to go back to being victim. Love can be a trigger. Money can be a trigger. Sex can be a trigger to take you back to childhood wounds you have not healed. Love, sex, and money can be the trigger for you to say somebody did something what? To me. It can be a trigger. Or it can be a divine setup to elevate you into your rightful assignment. It can elevate you into the ease because Venus also represents ease. Just because the world is claiming struggle, just because the world is claiming recession, you got to know that great wealth is created in recessions. Why not for you? Because see, we'd rather talk about Kiki Palmer instead of cryptocurrency, the blockchain, getting ourselves in position to prosper. We rather pass that by instead of learning how, as a spiritual entrepreneur, to how to set up your business and your marketing so you don't have to do it in the Western mind, in the Western hemisphere that was born out of the cave mentality of attack. See, the caveman had to fight for its food. The caveman had to hunt for its food, and sometimes they would hunt one another. Come on now, if y'all know a little bit of the history of the caveman, then you better insert your consciousness here. If you don't know, then you come into spaces so you can learn. And many of us in business are still duplicating a caveman mentality through competition, not enoughness. I'm going to eat my own offspring. Oh my God. But a collaborative form of business is where tribal people come from. Y'all hear me when I say tribal people? This is where tribal people are born from. Cooperation, sharing. Come on now. This is the stage of through me. Now, fourth stage. Stage number 4. Stage number 4. Somebody said number 4. Number 4. Come on now. Stage number 4 of awakening. This is what's happening this season. So when we look at current events, don't you get caught up in what's happening. Always say 2 things. Follow the money. Let me see what's happening with the money. Because most of the time, that's right, stage 4, put a number 4 in there. Stage 4, put a number 4 in there. Thank you. Follow the money. Or if there's a main event, know that there's another event that they don't want you to pay attention to. So don't get your emotions caught up in it, even if it's death and mourning and natural disaster. You have to have some emotional intelligence. Okay, let me calm down again for this next stage. But that's how my people work. They work like that. They get fiery. Like, this is how my feminine shows up. They show up as the mothers with a message. They show up through the mothers. And I'm going to tie in the mothers in a minute. The 4th stage is as me. This is the stage of I am consciousness. The 4th stage is as me. This is the stage of I am consciousness. Let me say it a 3rd time, and somebody else say it a 4th time for me. This is the stage of I am consciousness as me. This is the stage of oneness. This is what you feel when you take on plant medicine, when you start to do plant medicine. And plant medicine is not just ayahuasca. Plant medicine is not just marijuana, THC. Plant medicine is us sisters learning how to use herbs to heal our family. Plant medicine is how to mix herbs for our body. Plant medicine is when we start to use aromatherapy. Plant medicine is when we take herbs with the consciousness of joining on with the function of the herb with our desires. This is how we begin to communicate with the divine in us. But there's other kinds of medicine. There is the cosmic medicine of meditation and detaching yourself from trying to figure it out and begin to figure it in. This is the phase of not just praying out loud and begging and moaning and pleading with God to come for me. Oh God, I know that you got a blessing for me. Oh God, I know that is the old version. See, because it's time for us to grow up and mature spiritually. This is the phase of I am consciousness. This is when you begin to pray, I am prayers. Not you are. I am. Not you are. I am. I am. want to challenge you just to practice with me right now. In the comment section, begin to drop what you are. I am. ... Put it in there what you are. You're praying when you do that. You looking for money? I am the money. Come on, put it in the comments. What is it you need? Fill it in with I am. This is the fourth stage of consciousness. This is the stage of I am creator. Not just co-creator, but I am creating my reality. Think about what you've been needing in your life. If you want a partner, are you a partner? Do you want people to show up for you? Are you showing up? You want to be healed from your broken heart from a previous relationship? Are you experiencing lack consciousness? Then you get to be I am abundant. But listen, don't be so heavenly bound in even the I amness that you are no earthly good. Because that I amness requires alignment. This is the season of retrogrades and new moons and these cycles that we have. But you have a birth chart. If you haven't had a reading with me, come see about it. Come see about how to understand your blueprint. How many of you know whether you are manifesting a generator, a reflector, or a projector? Because everybody's cookie cutter advice about business, about love, about sex, about money may not apply to you. But how would you know if you don't study your blueprint? The mother is inviting us. The mother is bringing messages to us. The reason why we are talking about motherhood, the reason why we are talking about sisterhood, I'm getting ready to go do a podcast now on mother wounds again. Now, if the daughters are wounded and the daughters have only known how to twerk, there's a time when the twerk was a divine communication. If the twerk is not being used for a divine communication, yes, you can use it for sexuality. Yes, you can use it for release. Yes, you can use it for liberation. But the twerk, if it's in a low vibrational consciousness, it will attract low vibrational energy. Oh, this is a deep conversation. The ways that we sex, the ways that we do our money, the ways that we go about it. The mother is coming. See, because there's a season of the sacred whore. I'm closing on this note. The sacred whore has a message too. We're coming out of the season of the sacred whore. When it just becomes whoredom, this is when we see in scripture Sodom and Gomorrah type societies and why they fall and that type. This is not dogmatic what I'm saying. We got to study the psychology of kingdoms that fall. Because we're being called to rise. The mother wants those of us who are women, daughters, sisters, mothers. This is not just about you. We're out of the age of Pisces where it's all about you. This is about community. This is about our children. This is about exposing those things that have torn down our civilization and our consciousness. And we cannot do that by minimizing the mother in you, the mother by you, the mother through you, and the mother as you. We got to heal. And many of you who are drawn to me are healers in so many ways. If you're healing your money, your credit, if you're healing your creativity, whatever it is, Venus represents a lot. And she's in retrograde until September. Virgo season. Any Virgos in the house? So that's enough for today. It's enough to digest, to return to and watch again. If you are a Juicy Butterfly, look for email from me about our Juicy Refresher. If you're a Juicy Butterfly, drop a butterfly in there in the chat. If you want to get a reading, a blueprint reading, go to the link in my bio, Linktree/Rebirth with Latanya. If you are interested in enhancing your spiritual journey, the ministry that I have had publicly is now private. Why? Because this is about us elevating the consciousness, and the work that we do is prescribed, is unique, is custom. So I invite you, whatever is going on in your love, sex, and money, whether it's a siren or a signal, pay attention while you can choose it. Don't be forced to choose it. This is about choice, not force. Those who move into choice and not force will be able to use this power of as me, or at least co-creative power. And guess what? The race is not given to the swift, but to those who endure to the end. Stop isolating, shutting down, trying to DIY everything. Make an investment in your blueprint to learn the custom ways that you need to show up, because your gifts don't just make room for you because you say it. Your gifts make room for you when you nourish them. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I pray that this has been useful to you in this season for this week, and that you will connect with us. I see a lot of comments in the comment, but I gotta run. I do like to encourage it. I want to invite some of you to come on camera. And yes, love does bring people together. Love is fierce. Love is disciplinarian energy too, though. Love is not just airy-fairy new age. This is not new age over here, only love and light. A part of us standing in our power is embracing the dark feminine. And dark feminine does not mean witchcraft. Dark feminine means melanated. Dark feminine means being able to go into the dark places of our own mind so that we create. The dark feminine represents the womb. Because in the womb, in the darkness of the womb is where life is created. And that is the truth for us today as well. In the darkness of the womb, the mother says, in fact, scripture says, I think Nicodemus says, shall I re-enter into my mother's womb and be born again? Nicodemus said that. And the answer was what? Anybody remember? Because it's not just about going into a physical womb to be born again. It's about us going into the cosmic womb to be born over and over and over again. It's rebirth season. Every transit, every one of these transits have offered rebirth in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Well, I'm your rebirth mama. I love you. Let me get up out of here, y'all. I got to go run. Hopefully you'll tune in real soon. Ciao. How do I get out?